You may have heard this one. It's one of my favorites. The student asks the rabbi, "Rabbi, I've noticed that when you pray, you say the words very fast. But when you're studying Torah, you read the words very slowly. Why is that?" And the rabbi said, "Well, quite simply, when I'm saying the prayers, I'm speaking to God. It doesn't matter how fast I say it, God can catch every word. But when I'm reading Torah, God is speaking to me. I don't want to miss a single thing." The point of the story? God speaks to us through Torah. I really do love the story. I've told it to my students so many, many times. But as I think about it, there's something missing here. A question keeps gnawing at me. Prayer. What's that all about? Who is the prayer really for? I'm going to ask you a question. No show of hands. It's a rhetorical question. But think about it. Do you really believe that the sovereign of the universe is going to change the course of events because you ask it? Of course, there is a prior question that I'm almost afraid to ask. Oh, please don't raise your hand. And that is, do you believe in the sovereign of the universe at all? Another favorite story of mine, Greenberg and Goldberg. Greenberg and Goldberg come to shul each week. And every Shabbos after the service, we're not going to get to lunch quite as early as usual, and for good reason, so sit tight, it's going to be worth it. But every week, at the Kiddush lunch, Greenberg complains. Every week. He says, I hate this service. It's so boring, goes on and on and on. It's forever. We can't get to the lunch. And you know what? It's a bunch of hooey. I don't believe in any of this stuff. You know what? I don't even believe in God. Week after week, Greenberg says this. Finally, Horowitz says to him, "Greenberg, I've had it already. Every week you come to shul, and every week you're complaining. What do you come here for?" Greenberg says, "What do I come here for? You see Goldberg over there?" "Yeah." "Goldberg comes here every week to talk to God. I come here every week to talk to Goldberg." So, you're all here before the Kiddush lunch, so I'll ask you, why? What is the purpose? Prayer is both a left brain and a right brain exercise, or as the psychologists might say, it touches both the affective and the cognitive aspects, or to use layman's terms, religion has to be both intellectual and emotional. Both. The emotional component. That's the easy part. I'll tell you why I come. With all due respect to Rabbi Spitz, who I love to learn from, But I come for the music. Not just here, everywhere. If you know me, if you've sat near me in shul, you know I participate. I sing. That's what touches me. The emotional side, it can be the music. It can be that we are in sacred space. It can be that we acknowledge that this is sacred time. There's a rhythm to the flow of the davening. That's all the emotional side. But what about the intellectual aspect? Religion must touch the mind as well as the heart. We're not just singing nigunim all morning. We are intoning words that have meaning. Another question, does God need these words? So how do you say to pray in Hebrew? Lehitpalel. If you studied a little Hebrew, you recognize hitpalel. It is a reflexive verb, to judge oneself. To judge oneself. We need the words. We come here to recharge our spiritual batteries, to remind ourselves of how we are to live, to re-engage with our ideals, to be inspired to reach for the best that is within us. Since we need the words, we should take the time to focus on them. This is not a Hebrew reading exercise. We don't come here to see who can say it the fastest. Can I get there before the Baalat Tfilah starts her part? Is that it? How many words can we get through? No. I think we have to go slowly if we want the words to speak to us. Yes, we hear God's voice if we listen as we're reading and studying Torah, but we spend a lot more time at the davening. And in our tefillot, in our prayers, our values, God's beckoning to us of how we should live our lives, it can be found right there. Two sentences capture what I'm trying to say. And here they are. Who rise from prayer better people, their prayer has been answered. And sentence 2. Pray as if everything depends upon God. Then go out and act as if everything depends upon you. Ribon Kol HaOlamim, help us to hear your voice in the words of Torah and in the words of our prayers. May our hearts and our minds be touched so that We go out into this world as your partners, L'taken olam b'malchut Shaddai, and transform this world into the world as you want it to be. Can you hear Ratzon?